So, the war between Donald Trump and Elon Musk really is on. If you remember when I made a video about this previously, when their confrontation first erupted, at the time I said they are not going to be able to restrain themselves. They're not going to be able to stop this and come together in a way that creates long-term peace. Because their egos are so big, their insecurities are so large, the overlaps between their needs for attention are so huge that this conflict will continue. And indeed it has. The second battle of the Musk-Trump war is now underway. If you remember, the first time this erupted, Elon Musk was absolutely shocking in the extent to which he was willing to just go out there and attack Trump indiscriminately, somebody who he was supporting and praising literally 48 hours before his tirade online. And it culminated in him going out there and saying, well, Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why the Epstein files aren't being released. So really insinuating the worst possible actions on the part of Trump, something that even his opponents are afraid to do, a place they're even afraid to go to themselves. So Trump then came in and obviously retaliated to Musk and said that as long as Musk doesn't start to primary opponents or think about creating another political party or backing other political parties, then we can retain a truce. Because Musk then came back and actually apologized and said he regretted some of the things he said, which really makes you wonder what happens when somebody says a whole load of things over a period of time and then regrets what they did. What state were they in when they said those original things? So it makes you wonder about that, doesn't it? But Trump then, as I say, did come back and say, look, as long as he's not running other political parties or funding people against us, then we can just maintain this truce. This week, Musk effectively broke that glass and went to the next level. So he's been sending messages and tweets out there, attacking Trump again, and these are the kind of things he's been saying. He's attacking the bill that is currently going through Congress, the so-called big beautiful bill, and he's saying that anybody who votes for it is going to be in trouble. In fact, he's gone on to say, if this insane spending bill passes, I will form the America Party the day after. He's going to create a party called the America Party that runs against Republicans and Democrats, runs against everybody in future, that he will fund with his hundreds of billions of dollars. He says, our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican Uniparty so that people can actually have a voice. So he's willing to challenge Republicans as well directly now in electoral politics. And of course there were a constituency of people within the sort of MAGA branch who were true Elon believers. And they will be conflicted now. So this creates a real divide within the right if he's going to go ahead and do that. He also said something else. He said that as soon as this bill passes, anybody who votes for it is going to get primaried by him. He's going to fund opponents to these candidates within the Republican Party to try to unseat them as well. So it's a war on multiple fronts now. He's going to continue his war within the Republican Party to try to unseat existing members of Congress, and then he's going to continue the war outside it to try and defeat the Republican Party at the ballot box. Now, we don't know where eventually he'll go with it and what he will actually do as opposed to the threats he's making, but we do know that he's serious enough to keep talking about this and keep bringing it back. And that means that the clash between them is not over. And this isn't going to result in no reaction from Trump. Obviously, he will react too. And this continuing schism between these two extremely fragile egos, these black holes when it comes to attention and profile, and the extent to which they dominate the media sphere and our consciousness, these battles between these two black holes is going to continue and go on. Now, interestingly, neither of them are popular at all, of course. We know that Trump is historically unpopular. We know that Elon Musk is also extremely unpopular. But what's happened here is that Musk has actually chosen a popular subject, which is this bill that is going through Congress at the moment. In fact, the popularity of that bill is so poor now that it is literally unprecedented. The American people absolutely loathe it. And we have evidence of that from recent polling.
How do Americans feel about the big, beautiful bill?
Yeah, if we're talking about adjectives, how about they think it's awful, they think it's horrible, and to quote our colleague Charles Barkley, terrible, terrible, terrible. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at the net favorable rating on the big, beautiful bill. I don't just got one poll for you, Omar. I got 5 of them, and the net favorable rating, minus 19 points, Washington Post, minus 20 points, Pew Research Center, Fox, minus 21, Quinnipiac University, minus 26, KFF, minus 29. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that when the net favorable rating of your bill is somewhere between minus 19 and minus 29 points, that it is not a positive bill as viewed by the American public. The American public at this particular point hate the big, beautiful bill. As far as they're concerned, it's not a big, beautiful bill. It's a big, bad bill.
Now, let's not be mistaken here. Elon Musk is against this bill, not because of the reason that most of the Americans are against it. He's against this bill because it affects his own interests. That's all Trump really cares about. We know, he led thousands of people into poverty by doing things like abolishing parts of US aid and other parts of the US government. He doesn't really care about other people. He believes that empathy is a flaw in human mentality. But what he is interested in is his own interests, and this, of course, takes away some of the funding and preferences for electric vehicles and things like this, which will affect his business, Tesla. So that's why he's really upset about this, and also it stops him being able to do business with China in the way that he has. So that's why he's unhappy, and that's why he's challenging. It's not about the reason why most people are unhappy. The reason why most people in the States are against this is because the message is getting through. Factually, this is the biggest single redistribution of wealth from average middle-class Americans to the wealthiest that has ever happened in American history. And the way they'll do that is by making swinging cuts to Medicaid, and literally trillions of dollars will come out of Medicaid. And they've timed this on purpose. They know how toxic that is. So they timed it so that the Medicaid cuts only come about after the midterm elections. Right? So there'd be swinging cuts to Medicaid, and all of that money, that couple of $1 trillion, will be directly funneled into tax cuts for people who earn over $500,000. So I've mentioned this in a previous video, as some of you will know. And this kind of literal reverse Robin Hood has never happened in American history. And what will happen after the election is that there'll be a massive slash in the entitlement of Medicaid, the massive slash in the number of people who can actually claim and use Medicaid. And that will be experienced by people on the ground in a massive way. And that's why most people are against it. Even Republican senators are now speaking against it, which is why its passage through Congress is in no way guaranteed.
So what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore, guys? When the White House officials advising the president are not telling him that the effect of this bill is to break a promise.
So as mentioned, this bill is going to be a disaster. But make no mistake, this is not occurring because anybody cares. This is not occurring because Musk is actually representing the people who are wanting good things to happen. It's occurring because his ego is bruised, because his interests are threatened. And so he and Trump will continue to go at each other. And that too is a good thing long term, because they will continue to take pieces out of each other and start to shrink the coalition that they built together just before the last election. The public and political wounding that is going on in this battle between two people that are causing so much destruction to so many people is only a good thing for the world. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you might consider liking and also commenting in the video. We're creating a beautiful community here of people who are supporting each other through this deeply traumatic time in world history, commenting on each other's comments and giving supportive responses to each other when we're sharing the difficulties that we're going through. So it's a lovely, supportive community we've got here, and I hope you can join us too by liking, making comments and subscribing to the channel as well. I also have a bookstore, russellsbooks.com. I hope you might consider going there, buying some of the books in which I describe some of the psychologies of the people around us and the world around us, and also helping us gain awareness of our own inner worlds too, in a way that will help us navigate this difficult time in world history. I hope you can also consider joining and becoming a member of the channel, where you'll get these ebooks for free as part of that package as well. Finally, I also hope that you consider signing up to my e-newsletters. Whether you become a member or not, that's absolutely worth doing, because that way we can always stay in touch. I'll always keep you updated every few weeks about my content so that you don't miss anything, because let's face it, all of these platforms are currently owned by a very small number of oligarchs, and at any point they can just decide to shut down this channel like mine. So if we stay in touch via this e-newsletter, you'll always be able to link up to whatever I'm doing and whatever content I'm producing. The link is in the description, as well as the description of the channel. Fill up the form and we'll be able to stay in touch long term that way too. I hope we can stay connected. You can become and stay a part of this community so that we can all work to create a better tomorrow together. Thank you.